con Eduardo Rendon, aquí con la prensa. Eduardo, ¿me puedes decir cómo sientes de este swimming pool que van a cerrar?
Pues me siento bastante ofendido porque, ¿por qué a nosotros, los de aquí del barrio, quieren cerrarnos si están abiertos todos los del lado de los americanos? Todos tiran agua, que dicen que lo van a cerrar porque se tira mucha agua. Pues todos swimming pool tienen que tirar agua, tienen que lavarse para que la gente venga y se vuelva a bañar de vuelta. Pero si van a estarse bañando en agua sucia, de nada sirve.
Our grandfather's longtime friends, colleagues, Grandpa learned so much from him, and it's an honor to have our former senator in the House today, Senator Gonzalo Barrientos.
Señores y señoras, ladies and gentlemen, I'm reminded of this building right next door. It used to be a neighborhood center where John Trevino started, and I was a community organizer there in 1965. And then I saw him at the opening of the mural, and we talked for a little while. It was pleasant, much good news to talk about. Now you've heard some of the data. Eduardo Rendon Sr, 91 years, 91 good years, 9 children, 51 grandchildren, 165 great-grandchildren, 58 great-great-grandchildren. Anybody running for office better come to this family and say, por favor. He was a businessman, as indicated. Edward Rendon Masonry. Some of his work, as a matter of fact, is out there at Rob Roy, at Subdivision. And I also am told that he helped to restore Cristo Rey, part of it in the past. He was a founding member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, president of the East Town Lake Neighborhood Association, as Commissioner De Leon said. And in those days, when everybody was trying to come together, they saw a trashy festival beach, noisy powerboat races. Edward Rendon joined hands with his neighbors, his raza, and he worked to solve problems. Along with Jesse Segovia Street, who taught us, running for office, how to make silk screens. And we produced thousands of signs all over the city so that some of us could get elected. For Edward Rendon's commitment to the community, that area, Fiesta Gardens, named Edward Rendon Park at Festival Beach. Este señor, Edward Rendon Sr., respeto, caballero, dedicated to our community. Edward Rendon's message, I believe, that to positively change our community, our state, our country, and boy do we need that now, to speak up, you have to get in the ring. So, on whose shoulders do we stand today? Those of us who came a little after, we stand on the shoulders of Edward Rendon Sr. and men and women like Eduardo Rendon. Señores y señoras, when I hear the quote of Benito Juárez, who was once president of Mexico, el respeto al derecho ajeno es la paz. When I hear our President John Kennedy ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And our men and women have proven themselves in our military. When I hear Martin Luther King's "A nation where we will not be judged by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character." When I hear Cesar Chavez, "Si se puede," I can picture Eduardo Rendon Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, señores y señoras, it has been said that there is still another kind of power in the Chicano community. It is called spirit. It has been said before, and I will end with this: only a life of love lives on beyond our death. Eduardo Rendon Sr. Presente. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is another friend of Grandpa's, longtime friend and family member of our family, former AIST board member Sam Guzman.
Everyone. I'm not a good speaker either, but I'm up here. Let's see. I have come here to say a few words on behalf of the Pesina family. Abuelo was a great man. When I think about him, the words that come to mind are hard worker, caring, and family man. These are just a few. But it is impossible to summarize how great a person he was in words. Eduardo Rendon Sr. lived a remarkable life. One that inspired the Pesina family and I greatly.
We will all miss you and love you always. Abuelo, love the Pesina family. Thank you. Our next speaker is my Uncle Rudy's son, Rudy Rendon Jr.
First off, I just want to say we're going to miss you, Wella, and we love you. And don't forget to tell Wella and my grandma and grandpa, Salinas, hi. And just that, you know, ever since I was small, I've always been proud to be a Rendon. And now more than ever, I understand why. Like, I would have never thought that Chicano Park would have been named after my grandpa. And he makes being a Rendon awesome. Like, I just hope that I can help to carry on his legacy and be a better person. I just want him to know that not to worry about my dad, that we're going to take care of him. You know, we all love him, my brothers and sisters and my mom. We're going to miss him, but my dad lost his best friend, his coffee buddy, and his fishing buddy. And I'm just like, I always remember our fishing trips with him, even though he never liked me to go because I was so loud. And I would always scare the fish away, and he'd have to put the worms on my hooks. But I always remember our last fishing trip, which was not too long ago, where I got to put the fish on his hook. I mean, the worm on his hook for him. And that's it. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you all for coming out. As she said, my name is Lisa Rendon Barra. I'm the very proud daughter, granddaughter of Eduardo Rendon. As you've heard more than once and by more than one person tonight, what a great man my grandfather was. He poured his heart and soul in everything he did. Blood, sweat, and tears, everything. He left no stone unturned ever. Like he used to say, and he would tell us all the time, hace todo con ganas. And we absolutely do. I'd also like, on behalf of my sister Nancy, I'd like to share that my sister Nancy has a special bond with him. He was her fishing buddy. I know that she will cherish all these memories that she had with him. We all have that one special memory that we will carry with us forever. That's what he did. He left a stamp on all of us. I'd like to share a poem with you that I read that I think kind of summarizes who he is and where he is and who he was. It goes, I finished life chores assigned to me, so put me on a boat headed out to sea. Please send along my fishing pole, for I've been invited to the fishing hole, where every day is a day to fish, to fill your heart with every wish. Don't worry or feel sad for me, I'm fishing with the master of the sea. We will miss each other for a while, but you will come and bring your smile. That won't be long, you will see, till we're together, you and me. To all of those that think of me, be happy as I go out to sea. If others wonder why I'm missing, just tell them that I've gone fishing.
For creating this beautiful person for us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. My grandfather, what can we not say about the man, the father, and the legend? I am so honored to have him in my life for 38 years. Within them years, he has shown me many, many things. For instance, how to have respect and treat others the way you would like to be treated. Also, take care of your family because that's all you have. The greatest thing of all is how to outfish everyone. Nah, I'm just playing. No, but seriously, I will outfish every single one of y'all. He was a giving person, and my grandma raised me and my brothers, and also my sister. After my grandma passed, he was still there to see my kids grow, my brother Harvey's kids, and also Caroline's babies grow. He would always ask for his kiss from his gordo. That's my nephew, that's Nicholas. To the day he was passing, he would look for his family to be there. What he left behind was beautiful. And for him to be able to die at home with his kids and grandkids by his side, that is a blessing. Not too many people can have that. There's another person I would like to give praises to, and that person is my mom, Yolanda Rendon. She did so much for him, knowing she didn't have to, but she did. Because of the love she had for the family. Even though she would hear this and hear that, she still did it. Didn't even let it deter her. But that's what a good daughter does. So Mom, I praise you, Mom. Now back to our grandfather. 91 years on this earth is a long time for his eyes to have seen a lot. From dirt roads to very few houses on East Austin. And to see a city that he helped build. And also having a beautiful park named after him. He would be truly missed and respected by many that he came encounter with. We are truly blessed to have him for we had for so long. And I'm truly honored to carry his name, Eduardo Rendon Sr. I love you, Grandpa, and I would always have you in my heart. Thank you.
I knew the name Edward Rendon before I knew the man, Edward Rendon. I heard the name from the lips of another gentleman whom I grew to respect and admire, Paul Hernandez. who is not able to be here, I understand, because of illness. Paul revered and respected Mr. Rendon. And when I finally met Mr. Rendon, I knew why, and Marcos is right, we all called him Mr. Rendon. I knew why he was so respected by Paul and Marcos and many others. You could tell he was a tough man, with his cowboy hat, his guayaberas, with a strong gaze when he looked at you, and a strong handshake. The kind of man you want on your side. Palabra de hombre. He was like the Godfather, El Padrino, but not like in the movies, in a good way. Later and now he became known to me as Abuelo. Abuelo. And that's because, and I'm proud to say this, we're not related. My grandsons are his great-grandsons. Trey and Vincent Rubio, sons of Robert Rubio, his grandson, and my daughter, Maria Feliz. So we're not related, and I'm very proud to say that. Very proud. I would like to end with probably some very more profound words that are found in poetry and poems. And with your indulgence, I'd like to recite a couple of poems. One is in English and one is in Spanish. The one in English is entitled Life Well Lived. The author is unknown, but it reads like this. A life well lived is a precious gift of hope and strength and grace from someone who has made our world a brighter, better place. It's filled with moments sweet and sad, with smiles and sometimes tears, with friendships formed and good times shared, and laughter through the years. A life well lived is a legacy, a joy and pride and pleasure, a living, lasting memory of grateful hearts will treasure. Legacy. That's the legacy. A life well lived. The other poem happened to be my father's favorite poem. It's entitled En Paz by Amado Nervo, a Mexican poet. And it's very appropriate for the passing of great men such as Mr. Rendon, because of the words that it has and the message that it gives. And it goes like this. Se llama En Paz. Muy cerca de mi ocaso, yo te bendigo, vida, porque nunca me distes ni esperanza fallida, ni trabajos injustos, ni pena inmerecida. Porque veo al final de mi rudo camino que yo fui el arquitecto de mi propio destino. Si extraje las mieles o la hiel de las cosas, fue porque en ellas puse hiel o mieles sabrosas. Cuando planté rosales, coseché siempre rosas. Cierto, a mis lozanías va a seguir el invierno, mas tú no me dijiste que mayo fuese eterno. Ayer, sin duda, largas las noches de mis penas, mas no me prometiste tan solo noches buenas. Y en cambio tuve algunas santamente serenas. Amé, fui amado, el sol acarició mi faz. Vida, nada me debes. Vida, estamos en paz. Él está en paz. Gracias.
Thank you for being here today and saying so many good words about our grandpa. We're going to go ahead and call up, we have a speaker from each of our family. Is going to come up and talk about grandpa. Our first speaker is Eduardo Rendon Sr.
Well, first of all, I'm not too much of a public speaker, so you're going to bear with me. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone for being here. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jesse Silva. I'm one of the many grandsons who's commemorating my abuelo. I have so much to say, yet so little time to do so. I, like my siblings, are proud to be a part of this family. My grandfather has always been my idol. He taught me a lot of things. To fish, mostly be a man, stand up for your actions. Throughout my childhood years, he gave me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He'll be greatly missed, but never forgotten, for his legacy runs through our veins. Thank you.
My name is Demetria Rendon. I'm the 8th of 9 children of Mary and Richard Rendon. And what I learned last night with all my family is that every story that was told sounded like my dad. My grandfather was a profound role model, and that's something that has been passed on to all of us, my brothers, my cousins, my boy cousins. Every story sounds similar, what they said about Grandpa, to the way that my children feel about my dad, which told me that he was a great example of a man and a leader in character. I love my grandpa, and my sister asked him when he was still alive, "You ready to go? ¿Quieres bailar con abuela?" And he went from ear to ear and smiled. So rest easy, Grandpa, and dance with Wella until we meet again.
So my name is Bertha Delgado again, daughter of Alicia Rendon Montoya. And I'm not going to repeat all the stories because everyone's done heard everything. But I do want to tell you all that Weddle was not just our heart, our rock, but he was our backbone. And in any situation growing up around him, he could fix anything. If it was broken, he could fix it. He was our hero, our legend, our father figure. He was our backbone. Life is not going to be the same for me, for my brothers and sisters, for my mom. My mom went to him for everything. She's a baby of the family. She lives and bought her house 2 blocks down. The other baby of the family bought the house next door, and the other baby of the family lives down the street and then moved. But we always wanted to be near Wello. We always wanted to be around him. He was a part of our lives. And we shed tears and we cry because it's hard to let go. But we know that he lived a beautiful life down here, and he taught us all so much. I'm a great leader only because of my grandfather and my mother. I'm a great leader because he showed me not to ever give up and don't ever take no for an answer, because the Rendons don't allow that. We are going to raise our head high and we're going to shine and we're going to prevail, and we're survivors. We're not going to allow anybody or anything break us. And we have strength like no other. I mean, we have been through so much, but we're like brothers and sisters. And we get that unity and that love and that respect, and we got that from our abuelo and our abuela. Because without our abuela, we wouldn't be the women that we are. And we're very, very strong women. Hard-headed, very vocal, and our blood is thick. But that came from my grandma. And my grandpa's our backbone. And I just want to tell my mom, thank you so much for taking me to those meetings when I was little. Even though we didn't want to go, she would pack us all in there and say, I'm going to go eat free hot dogs and sodas. We're going to a campaign. And here comes Wello's clan of kids. They put us all to work at a young age. Hopped us in a truck. What are we doing? Just, come on, we're going to a rally. We had signs. I mean, we lived so many special moments with Grandpa. They did, our family before us, our generation, and then the next generation. We had an honor to have our Grandpa's great-granddaughter, Layla, march in marches. And Grandpa was just that person. Anybody was welcome. His house, anybody was welcome. Quieren café? Come over. Quieren platicar? Come over. And that's how we are. We have hospitality. We're all hosts. We're all event coordinators. We're all organizers. We get that from him. And we're very, very, very respected individuals. And that's the way our grandfather was. He held a lot of respect for himself. He had a lot of dignity. And he taught us that. He instilled that in us at a young age. We knew better. We were taught. And I'm going to miss him. I am. But I know that every fight that I do in the community and every rally I do, I'm going to do it in honor of my grandfather. Because Wello was our fighter. He was our Wello. And he fought to keep this family together. And look at us. We're a beautiful family. And we get to wish him goodbye and have a beautiful service like we had here today. So I want to thank every one of you all who've come out and taken your time to sit here and patiently just hear what Grandpa meant to us and see these pictures. And it's an honor to have you all here. Thank you.
For coming out and paying respect for my grandfather, who I call Willow. I would like to say that this man meant the world to me. He was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. I've heard a lot of people come up here and talk about his spirit, his heart, and he is a man that had a huge heart. And he has taught us, the family, the people that he worked with, friends, everyone, that I will always respect you, help you, work hard for you. And you know, I have so many memories. I spoke here, I was up here last night. I had a few stories to tell about him. I mean, I could go on and on and on about stories with Grandpa. I would constantly take him fishing. You know, I would constantly say, hey, Willow, you know, let's go fishing, let's go fishing. But it wasn't about the fishing. It was about spending time with my Willow. That's what I enjoyed doing, and I am so thankful that I had so many opportunities to go pick him up. And many of y'all weren't here last night, so I'm going to just tell y'all a little story about what I said last night. Last night, I said that I called Willow up and said, hey, we're going fishing tomorrow. I'll pick you up in the morning. And of course, I was running a little late. And as soon as I get there, you know, he's sitting on the front patio on this beautiful little handcrafted bench that my tío Rudy helped build him, helped build. And he looked at me and said, "Mijo, te pegaron las corchas." and for those of y'all who don't understand Spanish, that means, hey, those blankets they stuck to you in the morning. They felt comfortable. You didn't feel like getting out of bed. And I suppose that was true because I did that many times. I love my corchas. And and I've heard many stories that, family trips, he was always there ready to go fishing. And it's not about fishing. I want you guys to understand, it's not about fishing. It's about being out there, opening your heart to nature, and it's meditation. It's love. It's love for quietness and love for peace. And that is what my grandfather taught me. He taught me to love one another, respect one another, and work extremely hard for your family. He has always taught me that. And I could say so many things about my grandfather, Huelo. I always called him Huelo, and we've got generations who call him Huelo, and another generation that calls him Grandpa, Grandfather, and he's got so many new generations, so many children. I think the number we counted was 723 children, grandchildren, etc. And to me, that's amazing. I was telling a friend about that today, and they were like, "How does he remember everybody's name?" I was like, "Are you kidding me? I can't remember, all my cousins' names. How is he going to remember that?" And he's people say he's 91 years old. His birthday is on Monday, so he's 92 years old. 92 years old, and happy birthday, grandfather! Happy birthday! I did find a little poem that I think that he would appreciate for me to share with you guys. My people, I'm free. Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I'm following the path God has laid, you see. I took his hand when I heard him call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day. To laugh, to love, to work, to play. Task left undone must stay that way. I found that peace at the close of the day. My parting has left a void. If my parting has left a void, then fill it with your remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Oh yes, these things I too will miss. Thank you, everyone.
I've been taking a word to talk about someone that was very close to me, like a father to me. You always have second fathers in your life, the second mothers in your life, and he was like that to me. The way I talked, the way I addressed it was Mr. Rendon or Señor Rendon. This is the way we addressed all our elders that I grew up with. Señora Rendon or Señor Martinez, Mr. Martinez. There was always a lot of respect. And Mr. Rendon pretty much gave you the same respect. There's a lot of memories, because you got to know that, I knew him over 45 years. That's a long time to know somebody. It's like, Prensa and I, we just celebrated 45 years of being married. It's a long time to know someone you get to know. But I guess in a way I was thinking about what some of the things about Mr. Rendon that I remember. Because you have to understand, leaders are not born. They're made by the leaders of the community. We will share a philosophy that in order to lead, you have to know what your people want you to lead. You want to follow their lead. And that's the way I was taught. And in 1976, 74, when the boat races were very keen, one of the things I remember Mr. Rendon told me when we were in the crowd with the brown berets was, well, we want to help you out, but how can we help? ¿Cómo te podemos ayudar, Pablo? How can we help you? And I think at that time, Paul thought about organizing the neighborhood. And he saw the leadership of Mr. Rendon. He saw the people around him, his family. He decided to make Mr. Rendon the leader by asking him, what do you want to do, Mr. Rendon? And he took it on himself to organize his neighborhood called East Austin Citizens. And in after the boat races, when it was all over and they voted to do away with him, he said, well, I want to develop that park, my backyard. And so the city said, well, meet with the park staff and they'll help you. The park said, yes, ma'am, yes, it will help. Took care of it right at the time. So we went to Parks and Rec. You know what they did? They gave Mr. Rendon a huge map, about 4 feet. He says, here. And that was it. So he started to work on it, and then me and Hortensia, I was in school. She just finished college at UT, and I went back to school in 1977. And so everybody's getting together at Mr. Rendon's house, and you can see some of the picture that you see there used to hang over their mantle, the fireplace. And he said, I'll go help. I'm going to go help. You know, I'm a college student, right? Pretty cool. I'm educated. So I walk in the house, and they just said, well, my father's in the back. See what you need. I can help. And I went to the kitchen. They had a big table. It was a mess. I was trash, and people were working on stuff. And he said, ¿Y tú? You know, like that. ¿Y tú? And I said, I'm here to help. He looked at him. ¿Sabes qué, mijo? Pick up all the trash and throw it in the back. I go, okay. So I started picking up the trash, and like he told me I got the trash bag, pick all the trash up, roll it, and I asked Licha's mom, Mr. Rendon, no le pongo esto, Mr. Rendon, allá atrás, mijito. And then I'm outside throwing the trash, and I hear this. And they talk in Spanish, I'm doing it in English. He said, what are you doing? ¿Qué estás haciendo? You know, Marcos, he's a college kid. What are you doing making him throw the trash out? What are you doing? He said, me dijo que quiere ayudar. And that's the lesson that I learned. And I used to use that lesson a lot when I ran for quite a few office, before office where I won. But I learned that lesson. You have to be committed to the cause. And you do anything for the cause. It means taking out the trash. You don't complain. You just do it. And I remember one time when I was running ironically for Justice Peace, this young man came and he wanted to get involved. And we had like 10 houses to walk, so I gave him a list of the houses. He went to the first time, he quit, he came back. I said, okay, that's fine. No, I didn't get mad at him. It's just not for him. But if you commit to a cause, you have to commit all the way. And that's one lesson I learned from him. And I remember that for the rest of my life, and I use it with my children. But that's the respect, and I felt that that's the right thing to do. Later on, I did wonderful things for him. Like I found out where to build a fishing pier. You know, we're going to build a fishing pier. That's what he wanted. Mira, Marcos, si ponemos aquí, no ponemos los barcos. Yeah, that's true. So I went to Lavaca, and I found this agency that did it all over the world. They were the #1 pier builders. And I brought Mr. Rendon, and they met Mr. Rendon and said, what we do for free? That's the kind of leadership that we had. And then 1978, when I decided to run for office as city council, Paul told me, you have to go to the elders. You have to ask permission to run for office to represent them. So I met Mr. Rendon, Mr. Martinez, Alicia Garcia, Francis Martinez, Mr. Ramirez, and Peter Angel, and Carmen Teria, and I sat with them and I asked them if I could get their blessing to run for public office. And of course, you know, the respect I give to Mr. Rendon, he gave me the most glowing support. And he told everybody, we need to support him. Let's get behind him. It's just the respect that you have, and the leadership that he had at that time was so strong that everybody agreed to go with that. And I remember one time, for the city council, trying to get the park in 1978. I remember him going to the Parks and Rec and asking for the barbecue pits. And he asked them that he needed a big one. And they asked him, well, you already have some there. He says, yes, but you don't understand. I have a big family. And I don't remember how many kids he had, and how many grandkids he had, and how many great-grandkids he had. And the guy kept questioning him, why? He said, but you got a barbecue pit. Y les digo, mira, that barbecue pit, you can only cook a pigeon in it. That's it. I got a big family, so if you ever go to Fiesta Gardens and you're sitting there cooking, you say, mine's a big pit. No, it's not a big pit. It's a Eduardo Rendon pit. That's what it is. And there's a plan in the city of Austin that was dated in August 1978. When Licha served as the planning board committee, we planned the whole Fiesta Garden. A lot what you see that was planned in 1978. And Mr. Rendon led us at that time. That plan is 40 years old. And this for me, Ortesa was able to come in using our expertise as young college students. And it was a $7 million major park project. And you can't tell me that a man with supposedly limited education can sit down and put something together. And to understand the intelligence he had, even though he had limited education, was not limited in that way. Because he knew what needed to be done. He knew what the people wanted. And he would go out there and argue about it. Even though he didn't speak perfect English. But when he spoke, it was thunder and voice. And that's what I admired him about. And at times when I would get down, I remember what he used to say. Es para la gente. Es que necesitan. You have to do it, Marcos. And the most thing that bothered him the most was the Holly power plant. And the time that he decided to retire, he told me, it might not have in my lifetime. And I made a commitment to him. Well, I'm going to go ahead and try and make it a lifetime. This thing gets shut down while he's still alive. And it's something that really bothered him a lot. And that's something that he could not do. But remember, this man in 1978 wrote a position paper. He didn't write it, we wrote it for him. He wrote his words. And one of the things he took a position, East Austin citizen, was to get rid of that plant. It took 40 years, but we got rid of it in his lifetime. And that's his word. What we do as young people, they just carry that. So part, I guess the theme that I know is to how do our grandkids carry that? And great-grandkids carry that. And when me and Orteza have a daughter up in Dust Springs doing the same thing we used to do in Nevada, you have Bertha doing the same thing that I used to do, that his father used to do. You can't stand up. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. And this is a thing called moral anger. You're angry, but morally you're right. And that should be done. So I wrote a few words. It's not been easy for me. I got a very heavy heart. Because the last time I saw him, Licha, was when the school board wanted to close the schools in East Austin. And there he was his daughters and granddaughters at Met's Rec Center on his little walker. And when he saw me, his eyes always light up. Why, I don't know. He always just said, "¿Cómo estás, Marco? ¿Cómo estás?" Through deep voice. And I would say, fine, Mr. Rendon, fine. Muy bien, good. ¿Qué es esto? Está pasando aquí. Otra cosa más. Yeah, Mr. Rendon, you're right. But I remember his handshake. I remember his twinkle in his eye when he would see me. And I remember how, no matter what happened in my life, I would just see him. And I would see the power in him. And I would tell myself that all the stuff that I went through, all the stuff that I spoke at the city council, one of the things that we both agree on, I don't even know this, but one of the things we started the fight in very heavy in the 80s to save this barrio that we have now, that now has been displaced, he said, we have too many elders in the barrio, this is 1977 and 80s, that want to die in the barrio. They want to pass away here. Let me share with you, Licha and the familia. That's one thing I'm proud about. That's one thing I take away from tonight. Is that he did that. Para gente grande. They were able to pass away and not get moved because we were losing like 40 homes a year back in the 70s. And because of the effort of Mr. Rendon, the Brown Berets, all the neighborhoods were involved at that time. We're able to let a lot of the parents pass away in the home that they bought in the 20s and 30s and 40s. And I take comfort in that. And like we used to say, que vive el barrio, y vive Mr. Rendon.